We had an NTSB GO team that arrived in Albany, New York last night. We're beginning the investigation into a fatal crash involving a Mitsubishi MU-2B40 aircraft in the area. Before I go any further, on behalf of everyone at the NTSB, I want to express our sincere condolences for the families, the survivors of the families, and everyone who knew someone that perished in this accident. We're truly sorry anytime anyone has to go through this.
Hey.
The NTSB is an independent federal agency charged with investigating every civil aviation accident in the United States. We also investigate significant events that happen in highway, rail, and maritime. We issue safety recommendations aimed at preventing future accidents such as this. Now, before we go further, I know we have some individuals over here, and I wanted to point out Sheriff Donald Kraft, Under Sheriff Jacqueline Salvatore, and Captain Kevin Skype. They're all from the Sheriff's Office. They travel back. They've been an amazing partner with us in helping protect the scene and making sure that we had very good evidence, and have continued to be a great asset in our investigation, so we truly appreciate your partnership in this. Here's the factual information we have as of right now. And I'm going to read this to make sure we have it exactly right for you. On April 12th, at approximately 12:06 Eastern Daylight Time, a Mitsubishi MU-2B40 with tail number November 635 Tango Alpha crashed 10 miles from the Columbia County Airport. This occurred near State Route 23 and Two Town Road. The flight was being operated as a Part 91 flight. The aircraft had departed Westchester County Airport, airport code HPN, when a crash occurred in what we would call a flat agricultural field. The scene is approximately 100 yards in length, with the aircraft being compressed, buckled, and embedded into the terrain. Now we have recovered and obtained at this point a video of the actual crash in the final seconds. The video, as we've seen just in the last hour, we were able to retain a higher quality version, appears to show that the aircraft was intact and crashed at a high rate of descent into the ground. Let me tell you now just a little bit about our process. The NTSB will analyze the facts, determine the probable cause of this accident, and then issue a report on those recommendations, on those determinations. I also want to introduce the investigator in charge who's with me here. Albert Nixon will be our investigator in charge, leading the team that is on the ground now. Albert has been with the NTSB for 12 years. He has over 30 years of aviation experience and is a certified airline transport pilot, which is one of the higher designations you can have. So I'm going to ask Albert to come up and give you a few other details regarding the accident itself.
Okay, thank you. During the approach at Columbia County Airport, the pilot reported a missed approach. He requested vectors for another approach, and as he is being vectored, the radar indicated a low altitude alert. The ATC controller attempted to relay this low altitude alert to the pilot and also tried to contact him 3 additional times. Unfortunately, he was unsuccessful. There was no response from the pilot and there was no distress call.
So in addition to our investigators that we have on scene, we actually have one of our specialists that works from our family and survivor assistance. The lead for that is Max Green. Max has already reached out to the surviving family members and made contact with them. We've had some discussions with them ongoing. He will continue to make them aware of the investigation proceedings as they go along. Today we also held an organizational meeting and established what we call parties to the investigation. These parties are Mitsubishi, who was the manufacturer of the aircraft, Honeywell, which was the manufacturer of the engines, the Federal Aviation Administration, and NACTA. NACTA is the union that represents the air traffic controllers. The NTSB offers this party status to those companies, government officials, and others who may have employees or were involved in the manufacture of the actual product. These organizations typically provide technical expertise and relevant information supporting the development of the best possible factual record. I know last night we had the Mitsubishi rep in and the Honeywell rep, and they've both been on the scene with us, along with the NACTA representatives, and the FAA was involved in the initial stakedown of the scene. Once these parties join an NTSB investigation, they are not permitted to release documents or talk publicly about the investigation without the consent of the NTSB. The NTSB will be the only party that will brief the media or provide any additional updates to this investigation. Now, today was our first full day on the scene, and our investigative team will be on the scene for what I suspect will be at least a week. Our mission is to understand not just what happened, but why it happened, and to provide recommendations for it not to happen again. We will not be determining a probable cause while we're here on scene, nor will we speculate about what may have caused this accident. Since we're just beginning the investigation, we don't have a great deal of additional information. However, we will keep you informed on additional updates as we go forward, and we anticipate having a preliminary report within 30 days. And the full investigative report we anticipate will take 12 to 24 months. Now, we are going to ask, even though we have one video at this time, if the public has any relevant information or witnesses, or especially videos, door cam, things like that, we would ask for them to contact us at witness@ntsb.gov. The email address again is witness@ntsb.gov. Regarding additional media briefings or any other updates, I would encourage you to follow us on Twitter, otherwise known as X. The handle is @NTSB_newsroom, or on the ntsb.gov website. Now, since we only have a little bit of preliminary information, we'll be happy to try to take some questions and see if we can help you with some of those. I would ask, though, before you ask, let me know your name and your media affiliation, and we'll call you. Yes, ma'am.
Burner from the New York Times.
You're a long way from home.
Not really, actually. I live here.
Okay.
How many people are actually investigating in the team?
We have launched, the question was how many people have we are on the team. We've launched 14 people to this investigation. They're being supported by, I'll have to get you a specific number, but I believe it's 10 to 15 people that are actually back at our headquarters location. And we will also be utilizing experts from not only the parties, but the FAA is submitting a number of additional people to help pull and download data. So it's a very large number. It's a comprehensive investigation. We want to make sure we, again, find out the probable cause and make recommendations so it doesn't happen again. Yes, sir.
Corey James, Spectrum News. Can you state the names of the individuals that were involved?
Okay, the question was about the names of the individuals. The NTSB does not release information in regard to anyone who may be a victim of any of these accidents. That will be solely left to the county coroner's office. We will not release that in any way, shape, or form. Yes, sir.
Roger Rosenberg with BenHudsonNews.com. Do you have a number? Can you confirm the number of fatalities that are involved?
So the question was again about the number of people or fatalities. I can tell you that we have verified there were 6 people on board. I can say that all 6 were removed from the scene. We have no one hospitalized at this time. Any other questions regarding that, I would, again, local authorities and the county coroner.
Oh, he can't just say 6.
Sorry. Who else? We'll take some other questions. Sir?
Hi, Anthony Kokowski with NTSB. We were hearing about the worthiness ticket for this plane that was updated in 1995. Do you have any information about anything along those lines?
Can you repeat the question for me one time? Sorry.
Yeah. So it's along the lines of the worthiness ticket. So we heard that the plane was originally built in 1985. And its worthiness ticket, which was certification of the aircraft was ready, was updated in 1995. Is there any statistics or information about this plane itself?
Okay, so the question is about the specifics of the plane. We do know that it was a Mitsubishi, as we said, the exact tail number and information. We're pulling down additional data as we speak in regard to not only maintenance records, but other things. I can tell you that this plane was sold approximately a year ago, and based upon the information and the visuals we've seen, it had a very upgraded, what we call avionics package. Compared to the original manufacturer, the avionics package, which would be the cockpit, so to speak, is more advanced. It has a lot of newer technology, and there are certain items inside of the cockpit that have volatile, what we call volatile memory, which we have now secured, and we will be using for lab testing and to provide further information regarding the crash. Yes, sir.
Tyler McNeil, Daily Gazette. Just in general, was this, do you know at this point if this plane was safe to go into the sky?
So the question was the airworthiness of the actual
Yes,
aircraft.
correct.
I know that it was certified under FAA standards. We are looking again into all the maintenance records. We have no reason to believe that it was not legally safe to fly, but we will have to dig into, again, everything in regard to the maintenance records, everything. The good news is with most of these aircraft, there's a comprehensive, if you will, maintenance and record throughout the history of it. We're continuing to pull down that information. Everyone that we've been asking for information has been very helpful for us, and they've been able to provide it. It's just sometimes it's a matter of volume. Yes, sir.
John Kavanaugh, CBS 6 News. Was weather a factor in the earnings?
So the question was weather. We do know at the time that the flight was operating, it was under what's called IFR, which is an instrument flight rules. That typically indicates versus a visual flight rules that you need to actually use more advanced, if you will. We do know that the ceilings were starting to deteriorate in regard to visibility. Weather will be something as part of one of many different groups that we will look at. We have an entire meteorological team for NTSB. We've already pulled the information. We're pulling local information. That will be one aspect as well. The power frame, operator experience, air traffic control, those are all normal causes. We do know there was snow on the ground at the time that it occurred. Of course, a lot of that snow is gone now. So it will be one factor we'll look at along with many others. Yes, sir.
Brendan Wettergreen, News Channel 13. Can you speak to the experience of the pilot?
So the question is the experience of the pilot. We've gotten notional information that this has been a pilot who received his first pilot's license at a fairly young age. Has been flying for a number of years. As far as the exact number of hours and the hours in this equipment, we do not have that yet. We have located some of the records. We're still going through a few more, but this was a pilot that was certified to fly. We know that he's been flying for a number of years. Yes, ma'am? I did. Sorry, the question was a pilot was a man. I did refer to him as a he. Yes, it was a he.
And do we know why the people...
Sorry, do you want to follow up?
Yeah, but follow up, please. Do we know why the people were flying from White Plains to Hudson?
So the question was the reason for the flight. We have talked to some of the family members. This was a family along with some partners of some of the family members that were on board. They had relatives that were in the area, so they were attempting to land at the Columbia Airport. They were coming in for a holiday celebration with family. Yes, sir.
Do you know where this flight was based out of, like its home airport or FBO?
So the question is the home basing. In the Part 91 operation, you don't always have a home base. We know that it came out of Westchester. We will be looking at a number of operations that actually occurred prior to that. We also are pulling down the owner information in regard to the corporation. And as I said, it changed hands about a year ago. So that'll all be part of the investigation.
What does Part 91 mean?
So, Part 91, do you want to, I'll let the investigator in charge, you want to take specifically on what Part 91 is?
Just, different regulations that they have apply to different type of aircraft and the 121s like the airlines, Part 121. Part 135 would be more of a, commuter, corporate type stuff. And then when you get to 91, that's usually considered general aviation. That answers your question.
And to follow up on that a little bit, it's typically either you rent or lease a plane, something like that. So we try to refer to it in how it was operating at the time. Yes, sir.
If you could you provide, Corey Dent, Spectrum News, could you provide a little bit more details about the Mitsubishi MU-2B, about just more details about what type of aircraft it is and anything like that?
So the question is further details about the Mitsubishi. I guess the best way to describe it, it's a very nice plane. Compared to planes, it does have a little bit of a longer range, more top speed or higher speeds. We will be getting some additional details on that, but as far as being able to get into the tire specifications, we need to have the Mitsubishi reps because every one of them are manufactured in a different way. We're going to take maybe a couple more questions. Yes, sir.
You mentioned the video and the rapid descent of the aircraft. How was that taken, and what can you tell us about what was on the video?
So the question was about the video and kind of what can it show us. And the good thing about the video, anytime we have that type of evidence, and I'll again try to reiterate, if anyone has any other additional videos or information, witness@ntsb.gov, you can reach us. That helps us in letting us know without other, if you will, air traffic control or information, whether there might be a mid-air breakup, whether there was parts that were missing. Although we see the plane primarily intact, that doesn't mean that a part may have been lost at some point. We would also, of course, if someone does find a part to an aircraft somewhere in the area, please contact us. We don't believe that there are, but we don't know yet. It gives us a little bit better idea of things that we can rule out, at least initially, and it lets us focus on more areas that we want to learn more about. Yes, sir.
We talked about kind of the pathway of the plane and, you know, where it came from, where it's going. Did it make sense that it went through Copake at any point? Was that part of the original plan?
So the question was regarding flight routing. We do know, as the investigator in charge said, the first landing attempt was not completed. And so by requesting the vectors, the air traffic controllers were actually moving the airplane through certain spaces in order to get them back into another route. So we don't feel that right now, at least from what we've seen, it would be nothing unusual to see an aircraft being vectored back into that area. Of course, that will be part of the review in regard to the traffic control and the air traffic control. We do have the tapes from the air traffic control, and so that will help us at least identifying. That's how we knew that the altitude alert had come up and how they were not able to reach the aircraft at the time.
Nicole Harris donated $5 through Super Chat.
So the question
What
is, do we
another
anticipate
one?
releasing
Where
that
are the
video?
drones
We do
and
not
orbs?
anticipate releasing that
I
video
thought
at
they
this
were
time.
researching the
It
sky.
will be a part of our official docket that we will take care of. Whether or not it's released, some of these are very helpful from an investigative point of view, but there's also a little bit of semblance in regard to, I'll take one more, John. So we're very cautious about that, as we are just about releasing the victim statement. We're going to do the last question.
Could you tell us, like, in general, where the video came from? Like, either like a ring doorbell camera or a person, or?
So the question was where the video came from. It came from a location that was in the general surrounding area that typically you would think would have cameras. It was identified very early on, and so it just took us a little while to get the additional information. I want to thank again the sheriff's office. They were able to take video snapshots of that information for us actually last night, so we had a little bit better indication. It was very rough and grainy, and we were able to get someone in to actually get it downloaded for us, so we feel very comfortable with that, and it will be an asset in the investigation. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Oh, all right. So that was just a little update. This plane crash happened yesterday. I didn't get to cover it, but this plane crash, they were only announcing one person deceased. I don't know why they wouldn't confirm 6 people. This happened yesterday, Saturday, April 12th, Copake, New York, and all 6 people are deceased. They were flying this Mitsubishi craft. They haven't identified the people. Well, actually, in this other website, they did. Victims included Karina Groff, MIT soccer player, and 2023 NCAA Woman of the Year. Her parents, Dr. Michael Groff, a neurosurgeon, and Dr. Joy Sani, a gynecologist, and Karina's boyfriend, James Santoro, and likely Karina's brother. Oh, there's a whole family in there. Wow. Karina was recognized for her academic and athletic excellence, having studied biomedical engineering and co-founded Open PPE during COVID-19. Whoa. I was hoping that they were going to show us the video, but I guess not. Maybe at some other time. I was hoping we get to see a video of the actual what happened. And it was kind of weird how it said the plane was just decelerating and they were communicating, and then the person just stopped communicating. So I'm wondering, did something happen to the pilot while they were flying and they weren't responsive, and then the plane just went down? Now, I'm tired, man. I am gonna take a break after this because I guess tonight we're doing that thing, so I gotta take a little break from here. But something that's appalling, something that I just don't know how I feel about. I'm gonna tell you guys here in a second. My keys are like sticking together. Okay. So apparently Carmelo Anthony, his team, they made some switches. Yeah, they got this court case stuff coming up. Things are happening. Things are changing. And if I'm getting this right, they changed out Bill Clark and Kim T. Cole for somebody named Mike Howard, a well-known criminal defense attorney. And so so my thing with this is, how they're going to give up the black man and change him out and throw him away and replace him with a white man. Isn't that the whole thing these people were saying is racism, systemic? So are they systemically racist? How are you going to do that? How are you going to do that? Uh-oh. Oh, no. Oh, what's going on?
Daddy, I like when you scrambling and scraping for shit. No, I like that.
I don't know. What does it mean? I don't know. So I made a Facebook post because I know it's going to piss people off. All right, guys, I'm going to relax for a little bit. Carmelo Anthony. I'm going to relax for a little bit, but I'm going to be back later, and we'll do the thing tonight. Hopefully I'll make it. I'm passed out sleeping. All right. Bye. Catch you guys later. Love you. Bye. Bloop, 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 bloop.